What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Elune video here on the channel. And today, guys, I'm going to be going over the new units for our select summons and the top 5, my opinion, of which ones you guys should go for. Obviously, everyone's account is different, but I'm going to go over each of the units and why I believe they are going to be ranked 1 through 5 in today's video and which ones you guys should be pulling for. So I should be, depending on what my roles will be in the paid select summon, be getting the paid select summon. I missed my opportunity. I was just lazy. I had the money. It wasn't that I didn't have the money, but I forgot to pick up my select summons for the paid last time. I knew I was going to use my free because I did not get a Fahrenheit from the last select summon banner. So let's go over the heroes first. So we have Alveta, we have Karl, we have Medjed, we have Rachel, and then we have Trent. So let's go over the units first, and we'll start with number 5. So number 5 is going to be our Egyptian girl, Medjed. Unfortunately, she does rank at the bottom of the category due to her being power creeped by actually Trent. That was released, one of the second newest release outside of Rachel. So, point being, she's very, very fast, actually. So her stat-wise, she's very, very good. But the problem is that she, on her S2, only targets herself, or targets one ally. I would say if this ability was your whole team, it would bump her up maybe to 3 or 4, because getting that extra reducing damage received and then also increased healing by 25% for 3 turns would be insanely good. You would be able to combo her S2 and S3 very, very well together. But unfortunately, that is not the case. The fact that you could leave that special up to where you could have that damage reduction combined with like Weiwei's damage reduction or like a Freya barrier, that would give you a lot of options for PvE. But being one target is really, really bad when you have a team of 5. So unfortunately, Harpy's Blessing just is not very good. But the good thing about Medjed, if you guys do want to get her, say like she's the only one you don't have a copy of, that's still a good option because they did mention that she is on the list to be buffed in the near future, whether that's 2 months from now, 2 weeks from now, who knows. But she's definitely up there for something to consider if you have one copy of all the heroes and you're not close to like a maxed out version. So you can start working on the tree and your D slates. But yeah, so that's for Harpy's Blessing. For Annihilating Laser, it's actually a very, very good skill. It gives you a little bit of DPS on all your enemies. It also is going to cast an enhanced buff that increases all resistance rate of all allies by 50% for 4 turns. Now, this was straight up power creeped by Trent's passive, being able to have 50% resistance rate of all allies permanently on a passive. So unfortunately, her S3 was completely power creeped. And that's a big thing, so that's probably something they're going to change as well. I would think, like, if you had to ask me, I think they would make the AoE, make her skill 2 an AoE, and add some kind of other ability on Annihilating Laser. So, as far as her passives go, anyone who dares to serve receives a turn immediately after defeating an enemy. This effect is not consecutive. Attack is increased by 30% during the turn. So, unfortunately, this passive is very bad for her because she is a support hero. More than likely, she's not going to be killing things. Very, very rare circumstance where she's actually going to kill units. She does get an extra turn, and her attack does go up by 30%. But once again, it's just not... That passive just does not work with her kit, unfortunately. So, that's the issue. So, and then also, if there are at least 2 allies with more HP, you will not become the target of attacks. So, that is really, really cool to keep her alive. So, she has to go after, like, your tanks or your DPSs over her, more than likely. So, she does have that. And Osiris Gift is a really, really good passive. That is a very, very good passive because anyone having a Medjed buff will get revived with 30% HP. Whenever she receives a turn, it has a cooldown of 4 turns. So what that means is basically you will get revived, but you will then have to wait 4 more turns to revive that hero again if it were to fall again with a buff. So keep that in mind. But that can be super good for PvP sometimes. But like I said, just with the overall meta, Trent is just so much more valuable than Medjed. So Medjed is going to come in number 4 for units you could select. So the next one we're going to go into is Alveta. So Alveta is a debuff hero, and while the meta has changed, she hasn't really changed much. She still is good for what she does. So she's very, very good in a lot of the world boss modes. You could probably mess around with her in a lot of them, the harder 11 and 12 difficulties. Like I've heard people using her in Trent, possibly also in Proto. So she has a lot of good debuff effects. So she gives four times to all enemies and inflicts a weakening effect that reduces attack speed by 15%. So that is very, very good to slow down the enemies. And then on her ultimate, she has a magic damage that also inflicts a weakening effect that reduces attack by 50% for 2 turns. That's a very, very big number. And I'm sure when I enhance that, it's going to go up even more. Do I have 5 books? I do. So I can just show you guys what it would be. So you guys are looking at 80% attack reduction if you were to max that out for 2 turns. So very, very strong overall there. So she's pretty cut and dry. You know, she reduces speed, she reduces attack. Very, very good stuff. Now for her passives, increase Alveta's attack by 5% for each weakening effect on all enemies. So that is good. And it does not say weakening effect from only her effects. So any weakening effect. So it could be sealing or anything like that. Anything that's a weakening effect obviously will be applied, and she'll get 5% for each effect on all enemies. So if you have multiple weakening effects, that's 5% per effect. That could stack pretty high. But her stats for damage are not super, super high, being a debuffer unit, and being that she's a full AoE unit, she is not going to have a lot of damage, so keep that in mind. So next, weaken resistance when attacking an enemy below 50% HP and prevents... ignores enemies' weaken resistance when attacking an enemy below 50% and prevents them from gaining weakening tolerance, even when weakening effects are successful inflicted. So basically, it's just going to help you apply those weakening effects more and more. I'm sorry, guys. I am getting a little sick under the weather again, unfortunately. And then finally, soul consumption... increase enemy soul consumption by 1 for each weakening effect inflicted by Alveta. This was super, super strong. Even when Wei Wei wasn't nerfed, back when Alveta first came out in PvP, she was a threat to be taken with your soul consumption. Unfortunately, once everyone started to run the Chloe Van comp, when we realized how broken Chloe was back in the day, before they increased the HP of everybody, no one really cared because they would just keep using Chloe's S2 over and over again to just keep taking out units. But it was still a very, very good passive back then. Not sure how this will be applied to bosses, but for PvP, you don't really see her much anymore, and which is why she's at the bottom of the list. But she still does have applications for other PvE content in the game, so she's definitely not a bad unit by far, but she does rank number 3 for that reason, that she does not have that particular skill set to put her above, because there's a lot of ways you can play around her, especially in PvP and Guild War. So the next unit, unfortunately, I was so overhyped for this unit, and it is going to be the 3rd unit on the list is going to be Rachel, which is unfortunate for me because you guys that remember my Rachel stream a couple months ago, I did get her completely maxed out. So Rachel is good, but she does definitely have her drawbacks of her lack of damage. So the fact that she is trying to be a catch of all trades, being a tank and a damage dealer, she does lack damage on her multipliers, and the big thing I think that sets her apart is her S3 of that it cannot exceed 200% of Rachel's attack, and because she has such a low attack, unless you have a really good ligature gear set for her, I don't think that her damage output on Hidden Demise is super, super good, like when you compare it to units like Baldur and Chloe, especially for the cost of 6 souls. So I think she does need a rework. I think it should be 30% of the existing HP no matter what. I think that's going to make her so much more powerful in boss fights. But her S3 is where she really shines. And then she also has Deploy Pavius. Unfortunately, Deploy Pavius is not very, very good in Trent, for instance. And with the cheese that we have currently in Proto, there really isn't much of a reason to use her in Proto when you can use the Alluring Bella strategy. So unfortunately, Deploy Pavius is not very, very good at the moment. I think the channeling should be reduced to 2 turns. I think that would make her more viable. I think you maybe would be able to use her S2 in Trent if you did that. So that's worth her skills. But her passives are very, very strong. So especially Protect. Her Protect is going to reduce damage received by 20% for all allies in her row. So when you're using a comp like, what is it called? The whatever the Soul Charge comp is, where you have your front row gets reduced damage received, I believe, and then it's the other one, and then you get a Soul in the back row for the back unit. She's going to reduce damage even more by having everyone in that row. So very, very strong with her Protect skill. And then also, it's going to deal 100 plus 1% of defense additional damage upon each attack. This does stack with her S1 and getting extra turns and all that kind of stuff, which is why I did build her on Great Spirit set at the moment. So Alluring Will, very, very strong too. Gets that little extra damage in, and you'd be surprised when that does matter. And then also when she is attacked by an enemy, return 20% of the damage back to the enemy. So she does a little bit more damage back to the enemy as well. I'm not really sure how much this passive has impacted. I haven't seen it deal too much. So I'm hoping, like I said, I know she's brand new, so it'll be a while, but I'm hoping she does get a rework one day to give her a little bit more oomph for her DPS part. I think as far as for being like a pseudo tank, she's fine. But for her DPS, I think she does need some help. So Rachel is going to be number 3, in my opinion, of units you guys could pick for your select summons. Now, here we are going to be last. And I'm going to say this is going to completely depend for the last 2 picks on what mode you guys are particularly looking to do. One is going to be clearly better in PvP, and then one is going to be clearly better, I feel, in PvE, especially with certain content. So I'm going to say they both are tied for number 1 and 2, and that is going to be Trent and Karl. So Trent, we already started talking about him, where he, and I called him a him for all my past viewers. You guys know I always thought Trent was a her. Alright, so Trent is a healing unit. He's the 2nd healing legend we had in the game. So his S2 is where he really shines. He's going to give a heal HP buff, and this is at base. I've not enhanced his 2nd ability yet. But he gives an AoE heal, and then he gives immunity to all debuffs for 1 turn. Super insane with so much debuffs that exist in this game. S2 is absolutely amazing. Standard S1, where he does either an attack or a heal. The fact that he's a healer, he can do that healing as well on S1 is very, very helpful, especially in PvP. And then we have Safe Haven, which is a complete reset board effect. It removes all buffs and debuffs from all allies or from all people in play, all enemies and all allies, and then is also going to heal your allies as well. So everything except for soul effects. So, like for instance, if you're in PvP and you're fighting against Freya, I believe Freya's S3 is a soul effect, so it will not apply to get rid of the damage immunity there. But very, very good skills. Just a solid HP, or a healing unit rather. So, and then as far as for her passives, heal HP of an ally with the lowest current HP by 0.02 max HP as soon as Trent receives a turn. Only the ally whose current HP is lower than 50% is selected as a target. So, which means you cannot abuse this if you're like a little bit away from topping off. It does have to be, you have to be lower than 50% for that, unfortunately. So next, when Trent's direct healing skill lands on an ally as a crit, grant a barrier that absorbs 1,000 attack of all damage, excluding soul damage, for 3 turns. So pretty cool. You can get yourself a neat little barrier if you land as crit. So try to build her with a decent amount of crit if you can. And then finally, Mind Probe, which is absolutely insane. As long as Trent is alive, reduce debuff inflict rate of all enemies by 50%, which is basically giving you 50% resistance. So technically, you can use this with Medjed. To basically, you should have a 100% chance to resist debuffs if you have Medjed's S3 active on your allies. So, but you don't really need it with Trent having the immunity on her S2, so that's why most people don't run Medjed anymore. And then also become immune to debuffs for 2 turns at the beginning of each wave. So that is only for her. So all the enemies obviously affects all the enemies, and then for her, or I'm sorry, her. It's cut that out. For him, he is going to be giving you guys, he'll be giving himself immunity when waves are defeated. So granted, he's mostly a PvP unit, so really that's not going to be, you don't do waves in PvP at all. So PvP, that's not a relevant passive, but if like you are using him in like Dimension Gate, if we have to use him in Dimension Gate down the road, if they make it harder, that could be useful. The problem is for that passive, he's not really used in wave fights right now. So maybe something down the road that'll be part of, but that's our boy Trent. And then finally, the last one, we are going to be going into Karl. And Karl, low-key, will be the one mostly I'm going to be going for because she is the lowest one I have at only +1 from the 3 newest heroes. So Karl has an AoE S1. Very, very cool to have that. She is like the star Dimension Rift. She basically enabled us to get back up to that 500k damage output from our Reves and Balders since they nerfed Reve and Balders, I believe their passives to where they're, or at least Reve's passive to where she's not auto-critting on burn. So, or I'm sorry, ignoring the defense on burn. Now we have our girl Karl, which is going to be her S2, actually is where she shines most of the time. Is going to be an enhanced buff that increases crit rate of all allies by 40% for 3 turns, which is pretty much your almost always going to crit. And then when an ally with Inspired Beat attacks, that heals the HP. Basically means that when you bring your Weiwei's literally there for just the first turn in Dimension Rift to just use her S3 Sweet Temptation. You can always keep reapplying Sweet Temptation on your other allies when you guys use your S2 and S3 skills. So Inspired Beat basically makes it to you get that enough healing off where you can clear the waves at this moment in time with what we have. So Inspired Beat, probably one of the best support utility DPS slash healing skills in the game. A crit rate buff and a healing all in one. Absolutely insane. Definitely recommend maxing that out for sure. And then we have Onward, which is going to have all your allies attack with their basic skills, increase attack by 0.04% of attack of all allies, and have a 30% chance to gain enhanced buff that increases attack by 0.0 attack for 4 turns. When this does go off and you do get that buff increase, like your Balders and your Reves for like your Trent runs and things like that are going to hit in so stupid hard. It's insane. So Onward is very, very good for boss fights. Not good for your Dimension Rift most of the time. But for boss fights, very, very good. And Karl is a pure PvE unit. She is not a PvP unit. I don't ever use her in PvP. I never have. So PvE, she's awesome though. She's good in boss fights. She's good in Dimension Rift. Maybe if I can get her more Transcendent, I could try bringing her back into World Boss. But unfortunately, World Boss, she died too frequently. So I wasn't really seeing a lot of value from her. But possibly she is going to be better down the road if I can get more dupes. So, and that's what we're going to be going for. And then finally, let's get into our passives. When there's an ally affected with debuff, remove 1 random debuff. So very, very strong. We thought that this would be like super good back when she first came out for like PvP, but it's just not able to remove enough debuffs with like when we had, when Nico was huge in the meta and Chloe and things like that. There's just too many debuffs running around. Now Arslan is going to be back in the meta with his buff, and he does AoE paralysis as well. So not really too great there, unfortunately. And then we have Danger Signal. As long as Karl is alive, increase evasion rate of all allies by 0.3% per every 1% of HP they lose, except Karl. So when you're losing HP, you get more evasion. So very, very good for survivability. Just a super solid passive there. And then finally, we have as long as Karl is alive, when an ally with Karl's buff lands a crit attack, increase crit power rate of that ally by 10% up to 50%. So gaining a 50% crit power is absolutely nuts. So once you do that 5 times, that's when you're going to see your damage keep going up and up and up, as you, especially in the Dimension Rift stages. Once you get into the later waves, she's just going to output stupid damage, and there you go, guys. So number 1 and 2 is going to be Trent and Karl. Those are the 2 I recommend going for the most. So hope you guys enjoyed my review of the special summon banner, and it was cool. We got the 5 new recent heroes, I believe. Those are the most recent ones we have. So, but now I'm going to do something a little special to end with you guys. We're going to do a 4-star Elune summon from one of our event rewards, and then we also have another 7-day login reward of a select summon from the 100-day summon, and then this is our 4-star Elunes legendary summon also from the Halloween bingo event. So, going into this, what I would like to see is Freya, Trent, or Karl from my ticket. That would be optimal. If I don't get that, whatever. We'll see what it is. But assuming I don't get a Freya on my ticket, I am going to be picking Freya for my select because I was dumb and I didn't buy it before it ran out. Otherwise, this could have been like a +3 Fahrenheit for me. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm still going to walk away with a +5 Freya after this. So let's go ahead and open this first and let's see what we get. And I obviously don't want to do my select first because if this is a Freya, then that would be, you know, a total waste to select a Freya. So let's see if this cannot be Kangaroo, Balder, or Reve, or Arslan, or Bone, any of the old ones. Arslan. Of course it is. Oh, of course it is. Okay. And I'm definitely not going to waste 36 DPS seeds to get him to a 6-star for the dupe system, so I'm definitely going to fuse him. I just fused 2 Kangaroos, and I got a bone, so I think I need my bones to be, like, 1 more. So, we're going to go and select our Freya, and we're going to go and grab that. And we should have tons of healing seeds, so it should not be a problem to get her maxed out. Let me go and look into our... Where's our bag? There we go. Yeah, we have 74 healing seeds, so we're definitely going to get there. We're actually stocking quite a bit more in seeds, but I still do not want to waste that much DPS seeds. I only have 60 of them. They're actually the lowest seeds I have, so I do not want to waste all those DPS seeds on our just the Arslan, especially when I'm so far away to even have the resources to really invest in him, because I'm going to be working on finishing my Balder first. So, unfortunately, like always, my legend tickets suck, and I swear, I have the worst luck with legend tickets. The worst luck with legend tickets. Oh, man, I pull Arslans, Balders, and Reves, and Bone Daddies so much, it's, oh my god. But whatever, it is what it is, guys. So, anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video today. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys drop a like down below. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Let me know if you guys are still playing Elune. Oh, by the way, my guild, Peanut, is actually looking for like 15 or 20 new members for the guild. So if you guys are still playing, if you're still looking for a guild, even if you're brand new to the game, let me know. I'll get you guys in there. You know, they have a Discord. I'll send you guys the Discord link over. Just PM me on Discord, and then I'll send you guys the Discord link, and you guys can join up. So let me know if you guys need anything else in the game. And my next video will be our select summons. Actually, I forgot to mention this. So I'm going to be leaving my Discord link in the description below this video. So we have 12 coupon codes that I will be sending you guys. So to get the codes, so I don't just get them all gone in the video right away, you guys have to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then message me on Discord. And the first 12 people that message me on Discord over the next 24 hours are going to get a code. And these are going to be some of the coupon codes we had left over from the stream, I believe, last month. So definitely do that, guys. I'll have a big thing in the thumbnail so you guys are aware. There's 12 coupon code giveaways for some stuff. So let me know, guys, and just hit me up on Discord to claim your codes. And I hope you guys have some good luck with those. And thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next Elune video. Peace out, guys.